And we're live. We are back. Me and Big Nish this time, guys. Sorry, he couldn't be here with us for last week's episode. So I broke down some NBA playoffs, went over a couple things, but he's back and he's got exciting news. So I'm going to let him tell you about why he wasn't able to make it last week and what he's got coming up.
So, like Tom said, I wasn't here last week on the show. I was actually flying up to San Francisco to visit San Francisco State, which is now I accepted their offer on a Sunday night. So now I'm going to be attending that school in the fall, and I'm just really excited. I'm starting in basically a new chapter in my life. So I'm pretty excited. I still have to go back for my orientation, get my classes, and get my ID card. And once I get that, I'm gonna be a Gator. So I'm really excited about that.
Dude, that's so cool. Everyone remembers, going through college. I know I had plenty of ups and downs in my college career, and when you do turn those corners and make those strides, getting into a new school or just advancing, it's fun. It feels good. You feel good about yourself, and I'm a bit far past college at this point, but I still remember those days like it's just yesterday, and it's exciting, and that's just great news to hear. Um, and everyone I'm sure that watches this or has watched this will wish my boy Big Niche well as he goes and just goes to the world and just tries to find his niche. He's Big Niche and he's trying to find his niche. Honestly, that's the best way to put it.
Yeah.
I can't wait to hear more about his time at San Francisco State. I love San Francisco. I'm actually gonna. It's crazy. Oh man. So last year I went to San Francisco during the Eagles around my weekend around my birthday. I just got out there and relaxed, got away from LA and saw another city. Had a really fun weekend, and Carson Wentz came back against the Colts that weekend and started, and we won. And the Eagles, the Eagles bar I went to was just jam packed, and it was just hilarious to see that many Eagles fans. And just San Francisco, there's an Eagles bar, and it's like, wow, this is like I'm watching in Philly with all these fans, and it's crazy. But long story short, I'm coming out there. Same thing this year, birthday weekend. So hopefully you can meet up with me at that.
Yeah. Give me the name of that bar because I don't want to be like I don't know if I'm gonna meet any Eagles fans, but I don't want to be like sitting in the dorm room watching the game by myself. I want to be with the Eagles brethren and cheering with them and stuff. Like,
Yeah,
yeah,
it would be perfect. Honestly, it's a great bar. It's fun. I'll hit you with the information after the show.
yeah.
But let's roll right into segment one of the show, Hits and Hoops. This is the 9th episode already. Feels like just yesterday we started with the first episode, not really knowing, what we would say or what we would do, and whether or not we have, things to talk about. But it goes smooth every time, more and more. So, happy 9th episode, and it'll be a special 10th episode for the draft. I'll tell you that much. But we got the NBA playoffs, and it's been pretty crazy in these couple first games. Things that people didn't expect to happen are happening, and there's a lot of surprises, twists and turns along the way. And one of those big twists was Golden State looking like they had the Clippers pulverized in Game 2 after a convincing Game 1 win. And what happens? The Clippers come back 31 down, dominate down the stretch. It was a 72 to 37 point differential in that last bit of the game there, and unbelievable comeback. I watched it. I love Steph Curry, and I'm not some Warriors hater, but it felt good to just see them. They're going to probably win the championship, so it felt good to see a team like the Clippers just like scratch and claw and have that crazy comeback. And I did enjoy it. I like a lot of the guys on the Clippers, like Montrezl Harrell and Lou Williams played in Philly for a little bit, and there's just a bunch of guys on that team that they scrap, they fight, and Jerry West did a really good job assembling that team. They're a gritty, tough 8 seed, and they got hate in their heart, and they play angry and tough, and you better be ready for it. It's a war. The Warriors are way more talented, but I liked what I saw from the Clippers. It's an attractive landing spot for potential superstar players that want to get to the West and want to have their own team in LA, go head-to-head with LeBron's team. the Clippers look like LeBron picked the wrong LA to go to, you know? The Clippers are a really solid team. So, moving on to another series in the West, another big comeback last night where the Denver Nuggets over the Spurs. Nikola Jokic hit a couple big stretches, or a couple big shots down the stretch. Nish, Nikola Jokic is one of the most talented big men in the league. Would Denver be where they're at right now without Nikola Jokic? I keep hearing people say he's overrated and he's not that good, or he's like a fake superstar. I think Jokic is one of the top big men in the league, if not the best. I mean, you could say Joel Embiid for sure.
They've been having a lot of fun.
And I would say
a couple of them dance
Joel
around
Embiid. Sorry, we got
LA.
ads running in the background here. My internet was open and an ad just started running. It scared the heck out of me. But anyway, Joel Embiid, I'd say, is the best big man in the league. And behind him, I'd say Nikola Jokic. So I don't think he's overrated at all. Nish, what are your thoughts on his value to the team he's on, Denver Nuggets?
I think he's a really good player. He averages like a triple-double probably every single game. Yeah, people might say he's overrated, but if you think about it, it's a team effort. If he was on the team, I don't think they would make the playoffs because they have certain parts around him, like a Jamal Murray, a Will Barton, Paul Millsap. Everybody is pitching in, and that's why they got the number 2 seed. Like, you can say, I think, like you said, like he's Nikola Jokic. He's like the second best big man in the game, but he's not that second best big man in the game without the help of his teammates. So it's kind of, there's like an argument on both sides. Like, you can choose what side you want, but you can't take anything away from the Denver Nuggets and what they did this past season, being the number 2 seed and, really bouncing back from what happened the previous season where they got knocked out of the playoffs on the last day of the season against the T-Wolves. So they're starting to, they're on the come up. I think this is like a feel out year for them, getting into the playoffs, experience that environment. Maybe next year they might, who knows what happens at Golden State. Golden State might break up. KD might go to the Knicks. He might go to the Lakers or the Clippers, but the Nuggets are on the come up, and I think they're going to be a force to be reckoned with, just like the Sixers in the East.
Yeah, I agree. I think the Nuggets are a good team. And you mentioned Jamal Murray, and he had 21 points in the fourth quarter last night to bring the Nuggets back, getting clobbered by the Spurs. Dude balled in the fourth quarter, and he's a player, and they have a lot of pieces. And just like you said, Millsap, those guys, they're a good team. And without any one of them, they're not the same team. So I don't think any of them are overrated. I just think they share the ball. They play within their skills every night. They're smart. And for a young team, I mean, even guys like Beasley and Morris coming off their bench, I mean, these kids can play. They're fast, athletic. They'll run you ragged. I mean, this team could also be another team that's sort of a destination where, a guy comes onto this team and just changes the whole capacity of it and takes them over the top and makes them that much better. So we'll see what happens to the Nuggets. I think they have a great organically grown team, a coach that's getting it done, and players that all play together. And that's their biggest trait is just togetherness. And another team that I think is similar to that is the Toronto Raptors. They have Kawhi Leonard, but this team is well coached and they play well together. They took an L to the Orlando Magic, the 7th seed in game 1. And then they come back with a statement win, a huge one. Kawhi Leonard had 37. Is Kawhi Leonard just enough to be a guy that takes this team to the finals because of his veteran presence and understanding? And do we underrate Kawhi a little bit in that aspect? Like, people doubting the Raptors in the playoffs, this and that, but they have Kawhi Leonard now. This guy is a superstar. He was a finals MVP. Is he a little overlooked, and is that a good or a bad thing for the Raptors?
I think he's being overlooked, but it's a good thing for the Raptors because he'll try to, he's going to try to will the Raptors to the finals. But, it comes all down to Kyle Lowry because this dude, he's a baller, but something's wrong with him in the playoffs. Like, he'll go for, I think this was his 3rd game that he scored 0 points, and you need him because if you want Kawhi Leonard to stay, you need Kyle Lowry to come up in the big moments, and he hasn't done that for the past 4 or 5 years. He's always been there's something wrong with his game in the playoffs, and he needs to step it up if the Raptors want to make it to the finals.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think that what you saw in a big statement win was Kyle Lowry's meaning to the team. He had 22 points last night. The Raptors cruised to a win. Kawhi had a huge game. I mean, when he plays well, it takes a lot of pressure off other guys. Siakam had a nice, solid game. He had 19. He wasn't too much under pressure to do any big scoring, just got in there, made plays, did what he had to do. And when guys like that play well, you have a superstar like Kawhi Leonard who's a silent assassin, gets after it every single night. That's when you're going to see the best version of the Raptors. And you're right, Kyle Lowry is that kind of X factor player. And he's from, the area he went to Villanova. So I've seen him at Foot Locker before. And I pull for that guy to have a good game. I hate it that he struggles in the playoffs and things like that, but I think he just needs to, take a deep breath, and I think he'll be fine. And I actually, now speaking of the Raptors, they're my finals prediction out of the East. I never wavered off that. I said that the Raptors are going to be the team that goes to the championship this year out of the East, and I am going to stick with it. The Sixers, they're in a tough series with the Nets. They lost game 1. Everyone was really mad about that one. The whole team came out angry and proved them wrong in the second game and went out there and got it done. And I think Sixers are a good team, but I picked the Raptors easily. Going to stick with that. I really have confidence in that team to fulfill that prediction. But I am pulling for the Sixers. Obviously, I just think they're a little bit away from being on that level where they can go to the finals. But hey, I hope I'm proven wrong. I hope that they do end up making a push for it. But and then I got Golden State beating the Raptors in the finals. Just too much firepower. So, Nish, what do you think your finals predictions are? You changed it, or are you still sticking with the initial prediction?
I kind of forget what my initial prediction was because I was
It's
a
all
while back, but I kind of agree with you. I see the Raptors making it to the finals because you got Kawhi, Finals MVP. He knows what it takes, and I think Kyle Lowry, he's gonna step it up. And they got Pascal Siakam, Danny Green, all those guys on the bench who can contribute. And I don't see. Yeah, the Bucks are the number 1 seed, but I just don't like.
Yeah, that's another team we didn't really talk about. The Milwaukee Bucks with the Greek freak, and Giannis is on a mission this year. And trust me, I love the Bucks. I think they're a great team. They have Eric Bledsoe at point. He can match up with Lowry. I think that would be a great Eastern Conference Finals. But I'm picking the Raptors to go to the finals. I picked them from early in the season, and I'm going to pick them again now. I think that they're the team I got. But you bring up the Bucks, and it's a valid point. They're a really good team. You said you can't see them really going to the finals, and like I said, either could I. I think the Raptors would beat them, but you never know when you got a guy playing as hot and as dominant as the Greek freak is. Shaq said he's more dominant than him at that age, and they're obviously not exactly the same style player, but the Greek freak really does impose his will on games now, and he just is on a mission. And he's only 24, so he's definitely next up. But I'm taking the Raptors as well. Another interesting team is the Portland Trailblazers. They're 13-0 when they jump out to a 2-0 series lead. They did that last night. Damian Lillard has taken this series personally with Russell Westbrook. Russell was talking a lot of stuff. He's probably been talking a lot. They meet in the playoffs, and Lillard and Russell are going at it. Lillard is killing it right now. He's splashing from deep. He looks like he's on a mission too. Do you think the Blazers have any legit shot to maybe make it even to the Eastern or the West Finals with the Warriors or whoever in general? Do you think that the Blazers are the team that could rise to the occasion in the West?
I think the Blazers, they have a chance of making it to the Western Conference Finals, but I think they gotta first they got to beat Oklahoma City on Oklahoma City's floor. So unless that happens, I kind of like they're a good team, but I don't think they need like another superstar with Dame and CJ. I think they're gonna get to the second round, but I don't. I think that's it. They're gonna lose to either to the Spurs or the Nuggets. So
Yeah. The Rockets are pretty good too. So we'll see. And the Jazz, they play tonight as well. So obviously, the big news out of today for football fans like us, the NFL schedule release. The schedule is dropped. Everyone can start planning what games they're going to. The whole 9 yards. I'm already looking at flights. You know the deal. Are you still going to the home opener, brother?
yeah, that's the plan. Just gotta get the tickets, gotta get the flights, and I'm probably not gonna buy like right now. I'm probably gonna wait a little bit.
Yeah.
Probably sometime in the summer I'll buy it, and me and the Pops, we're gonna head out. I've already talked to him even before the season, the schedule came out. We're like talking, let's go to the home opener. So
Cool.
I'm looking forward to it. Seeing the Eagles, play against the Redskins. It's a divisional game, but it's kind of, if you think about it, it's kind of like one of those easy games that you and I were looking forward to.
Mm-hmm.
You see the Eagles, just like dominate them. See Carson Wentz back out on the field, getting his legs back underneath him, and seeing Deshaun Jackson back in the link. So I'm kind of looking forward to that, and just yeah.
Yeah, I agree. D-Jax it's like a double revenge game. He's coming back for the Eagles to play the Redskins, and he used to do the opposite, beat on the Redskins and beat the Eagles, and now it's like a reverse. It's pretty crazy. I can't wait. I think we're going to beat them. Case Keenum is not really the best quarterback to send out there week one. Maybe they get a rookie, maybe not. But we'll see what happens there. I can't wait. I can't wait to see D-Jax, Carson, all those guys making plays, Alshon, Zach. It's going to be awesome. I just already can't wait. But we'll get to the Eagles a little bit later. I want to talk a little bit about week one games that kind of stand out. And we're going to, kind of talk about them a bit, maybe predict who we think is going to win. We're going to, a little rapid fire on it because we do have a lot of games to go through. And then we're going to do best prime time or big games of the season. We got 5 for each. So let's do the Packers, the Bears. They open the season. What's your prediction and why? We got to go with this rapid fire. We're going all off the cuff here. We're going freestyle and everything. You're seeing it's all live. Nothing's really, we didn't write down what we were going to say. So this is all live. So let's do a little quizzo here kind of deal. We're testing ourselves.
Okay, so you said Bears and Packers. I think the Bears are gonna win. It's at home, Soldier Field, Chicago, Khalil Mack. It's a rivalry game. It's Aaron Rodgers' he has a new coach, Matt LaFleur. Bears win.
Okay, Bears win. You got Bears. I'm going to take the Packers. It's going to be a statement game. It's going to be Aaron Rodgers versus Mitch Trubisky dueling it out. One young quarterback, one guy that's thinking, hey, this town ain't big enough for the both of us. This division's mine. You guys upset me last year. You took it right from under me, and he's got to live up to that. Soldier Field, get ready for Aaron Rodgers taking it to the Bears and breaking your hearts again. Colts, Chargers. I'm going to start with this one. I got the Chargers. I got Phillip Rivers going out there, making plays, going off. I think Phillip Rivers has a big game against the Colts week one, and I think that Andrew Luck gets stifled a little bit by that crazy athletic secondary that they got. He's going to come out a little rusty, and Phillip Rivers is going to be the quarterback that comes out shining, and Chargers win. Who do you got and why?
I agree with you as well. I think the Chargers are going to win. It's at home. It's in LA. Got Phillip Rivers. You got Melvin Gordon, Mike Williams, Keenan Allen, and then you got all those guys on the defense. They're playing. It's like I think the Colts are a really good team, but I think they're going to start off the season 0-1.
Gotcha. Perfect. Steelers, Pats, you're up.
Pats, easy. No Steelers, no Le'Veon Bell, no AB. Patriots they're going to be putting that number 6 banner up into the stadium. It's going to be a big night. Tom Brady, they just picked up Demaryius Thomas. You got all those weapons. Edelman, I know Gronk is gone, but I think the Patriots are just they're gonna beat up on the Steelers, and they might just send the Steelers into like a downward spiral.
Yeah, that's a brutal game for the Steelers after all the drama, all the adversity. I mean, if they win it, that's a huge sign. But I think the Patriots are going to have a little homecoming, coming out party, celebrating the Super Bowl. Sony Michel's going to get a lot of work. He was awesome in the playoffs. They're going to have Brady throwing the ball, but there's going to be some serious body movement on that ground game, I think. And they're just going to, I think, wear the Steelers down all game, beat them up, dominate them, and show everyone why they're still coming for number 7. We got Texans, Saints. I'm going to take the Houston Texans. And here's why. I think on the road, week 1, at home, I think on the road, week 1, Deshaun Watson in Drew Brees' home. I think the Saints always, I feel, start out a little shaky. They get upset week 1. And this is a good Texans team that started 0-3 last year and then went on a run. Disappointing way to lose in the playoffs. And I think they're going to come in, and I think you're going to see Watson, and you're going to see, DeAndre Hopkins just show, we're back to going a bigger run this year. The Saints, their time's up. It's Texans coming into New Orleans, ruining week 1 for them. And I think that they could be in line also to draft a running back as well, these Texans. And I think they get a guy like Josh Jacobs, and it could be a long night for the Saints defense if they're not ready to rock. Because that Texans offense, we saw that in Philly last year, and that guy can play, man. Deshaun Watson is the real deal, and he runs that offense to a T. So I got the Houston Texans. Who do you got?
I agree with you. I got the Houston Texans. Deshaun Watson, nuke. Will Fuller's coming back from ACL injury. They might get a running back. I like Deshaun Watson, and I like the Texans. I would have picked the Saints, but of their constant complaining and crying about the NFC Championship game, they gotta let that go. Move on to the future. Don't live in the past. It's like I used to like the Saints. Now I don't like them anymore because them and their fans were just crying about that call for the past 5 months, and I'm like, get over it.
Yep, I agree. I got a little bitterness toward the Saints. It's going to be a tough game, though. We'll see what happens. But Cowboys, Giants, I easily have the Cowboys. As much as I hate to say it, they're a way better team than the Giants are. They have Ezekiel Elliott. The Giants are in a rebuild mode. The Cowboys have a good defense. They're not going to lose to the Giants week 1, especially in Dallas. Dak Prescott is coming for that contract. He's trying to show you why, unless he gets it already. He's trying to show you why he's 25, 30 mil, not 15, 20. So no hometown discount. Dak's coming for revenge on everybody who said he was a bum, and he's got some weapons. Everything's good in Dallas. They're going to start the season rolling at 1-0, dominant win over New York Giants. Who do you got?
Cowboys, I don't want to pick them, but they're better than the Giants, and they're going to beat the Giants.
Yep, pretty much simple as that. So we got 4 primetime games. We're going to rotate. I'm going to go the first one. I'll go Saints at Rams week 2. So I say that the Rams are going to win that game. And the Saints are going to start 0-2. The Saints are going to start 0-2 this season. They have a tough first 2 games. And I think they're going to start 0-2. I think the Rams are going to beat them. I think the Saints are going to be shook up a little bit still, angry, playing kind of out of character. They lost Mark Ingram. Don't think that's a small loss. That's a huge loss. I think that they're really a team that is just hanging by a thread, and it's Drew Brees. When's it going to happen? When's he going to take a step back? When's he going to, when's something going to happen? Because this team, I think they overachieved a little bit in the last 2 years. I think they're good. I think they have a good team, but I don't think they're that good. and I think they're going to start 0-2 this year. They started 0-2 in 2017 as well and then went to the playoffs. So I'm not saying that they're dead in the water, but I think they start a little slow. They start 0-2. Green Bay at Kansas City is a huge one. It's Aaron Rodgers, Sunday Night Football against Patrick Mahomes. You get the pleasure of breaking that one down for us. Who do you got and why?
I got the Kansas City Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes, MVP from the previous year. He's got Tyreek Hill, Cheetah. He's got Travis Kelce. It's just that I don't think the Packers defense is good enough, even though they got some pieces in free agency. I don't think they're going to be good enough to stop Patrick Mahomes. And then I think the Chiefs defense has to get better. They got Steve Spagnuolo as the defensive coordinator. So he's going to show up some deficiencies. And I just think Aaron Rodgers' time in the NFL is starting to coming down to an end because of all those articles that have been released about him saying he's like a bad teammate. He's hard to work with. And I just think it's Patrick Mahomes' time to shine in the NFL, and he's going to take that mantle away from Aaron Rodgers.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I like Patrick Mahomes a lot too. So we got Week 11, Sunday Night Football, Chiefs at Chargers in Mexico, though. So it's not really a home game for either team. I love it because it's Mexico. It's another Chiefs game, so it's a pretty big. I mean, we have the Chiefs on 3 of these because they are the team this year, man. Patrick Mahomes is must-see TV. I'm going to take the Chiefs in that game. I'm going to take the Chiefs to beat the Chargers in Mexico. Patrick Mahomes is just a stud. The Chargers seem to get the better of them in the game last year, but I think that they can. I think this time around in Mexico, I think it's going to be the Chiefs that win it. They split the season series last year, so we'll see what they do this year. But I got the Chiefs in that one. And the last game is the game of the week in Week 14. Chiefs at Patriots, probably the game of the year that everyone's looking forward to. They had 2 ridiculous games last year. Who do you got? Give it to me quick.
I got the Pats. Unless I have to see Andy Reid take down the evil empire and the New England Patriots. I haven't seen it since Andy Reid was the coach in Philly. I just think Tom Brady, he's once he retires, then it's Patrick Mahomes' time. But unless the Chiefs beat them and I see it for real, I just don't. The Pats are just too good. Like I mentioned before, Edelman, Thomas, Sony Michel. We don't know who their tight end is going to be. They're probably going to draft one. But I just think the Patriots are too good, and it's at home in December. That's when everything starts clicking for them. I don't see the Chiefs going there in cold weather and beating the Patriots.
Yeah, I got you there. And they did actually sign Austin Seferian-Jenkins at TV, but they probably are at tight end. I'm sorry, but they probably will go and draft one as well. And they'll have that thing humming by Week 14, like you said. I got the Pats as well. Browns have 3 primetime games. They got the Pats, Rams, and Steelers on primetime. Incredible. The Cleveland Browns are must-see TV this year with Baker Mayfield, and why not? They absolutely have a guy they can trust, and they got Odell Beckham now. I mean, that team's going to be fun to watch if everything kind of works out. We'll see just how well it works out with that team. Jarvis Landry, Odell, just a couple guys that are explosive players. Landry's a slot guy. Baker, Njoku. I mean, they have so many big names on that offense, and it's going to be crazy to watch. The Eagles, though, are going to be even one of those teams that everybody wants to have their eye on, because even though they won the Super Bowl in 2017, it wasn't with Carson Wentz, and now they come back and they have this situation where Carson's coming back. He has to prove he can stay healthy. I don't think he has to prove himself talent-wise. I think we all know what he is talent-wise. They have the Redskins opening Sunday of the NFL at home. That's the one I'm looking forward to most. Nish, what game are you looking forward to most on the Eagles' schedule?
I'm looking forward to the Super Bowl 52 rematch when the Pats come to Philly, and it's going to be the first matchup between Carson Wentz and Tom Brady. That's one of the big matchups in the NFL. It's a game of the week. It's just like I don't know if you believe it, but I think the Eagles and Patriots, they have that rivalry. It's not one of those big, like divisional rivalries around the NFL, but it's one of those things. They beat us in the Super Bowl in 2004. We beat them in 2017. So it's kind of like, it's starting to become one of those rivalries where both the fans hate each other. It's documented on Twitter and stuff. And I just think that's going to be a good game. I wish it was on Sunday Night Football so everybody could see it and see us beat the Patriots, but I don't think that's going to happen. I think that's going to be one of our 4 losses. I have the Eagles going 12-4. Hopefully we can beat them, but I just think, like I said before, for the Chiefs and Pats are going to start coming into form, and it's going to take a lot to beat them, even at home. So.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's going to be a tough game, but the two teams definitely have history. They definitely have a history in this last generation of their greatness, and us coming up getting our first Super Bowl was against them. They beat us in the Super Bowl, like you said. We had a couple other games in between there that were pretty wild, and there's definitely a history there. The Patriots have been around. They're the Boston team. It's Philly. We're right by them, and there's definitely a little history between the two teams, and it's just another matchup for us that we have to go in and play them, and it's going to be a lot of fun. I have the Eagles at 12-4 as well. I think that they make a big run here in the season. I think Carson Wentz gets his redemption, and I think there's going to be a lot more to break down as the draft ends, and we see what this roster actually looks like and things like that. But for now, we'll leave it at that for the Eagles. And then just roll into a couple of suggestions of what to watch. We're trying to keep these videos cleaner for you guys, give you information, but not, overload you. And for all the viewers, we don't want the videos to be, 2 hours because we literally could talk for probably longer than 2 hours. We're both huge fans and football fans in general. So we could talk about football a lot, basketball too. So we're just trying to keep the vids cleaner. So what to watch this weekend for me. I got the NBA playoffs, are on all weekend. All the games are stacked. The Sixers play at noon on Saturday. I expect them to win that game. I picked them to win that game. Once they lost game 1, I said they're going to win the next 2 straight. I think they're going to go to Brooklyn and win. And the Phillies actually have a series with the Rockies all weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So I'll be tuning into some baseball, some basketball, all that stuff. But I also got some other stuff to do as well. I got one of my buddy's birthday parties out here, and then just hanging with my friends and maybe see a movie. Who knows? It's always good to do stuff when it's warm out, the weather's nice, and in LA it usually is. So that's my spiel for signing off for the weekend before our closing points. What you got to watch, Nish?
So you kind of hit on the main points. I'm gonna move over onto Europe and some big games. You got Manchester City versus Tottenham. That's a big game for City because they're in the title race. They're 1 point behind the leaders of Liverpool, so they need to win all their games to retain the title. And Inter versus Roma, Italian league, trying to get Champions League places. So it's one of those weekends in sports where it's mostly filled with NBA stuff, NHL. There's some games out there that are sleeper games, but if there's sports on, guys, watch it, enjoy your weekend, and yeah, enjoy sports.
Yep, absolutely. We do have closing points, and I should just make this the segment on next week's show. But we're going to be talking about the draft, so maybe I'll save this to actually making it a segment because we've had a lot to talk about. I probably shouldn't have picked such a heavy closing point. I was going to break down, some of the differences between the 2017 and 2018 Eagles. I think I want to break that down a little closer to the season. I just decided that my closing point is going to be my schedule prediction, and I'm gonna let Nish throw his win losses out there first for the schedule. I'm gonna pull it up because I didn't actually expect to do this. I'm going to pull up the schedule here, and we're going to go through it for the Eagles schedule. We're going to break down the wins, the losses, the ties, if we guess any ties. I doubt we will, but we might, so you never know. and we're going to see how much alignment me and Nish have on our predictions, on our schedule, on our win loss. So first game is the Washington Redskins. I got to win. You got to win, Nish.
Yep, win.
Okay, so we're 1-0.
Yeah,
We each got them beating the Redskins at Atlanta. Do you have them winning or losing that game, Nish? Week 2. It's Sunday Night Football. What do you got?
dub.
A dub? Nice. I say they're going to win that game as well. I think they do beat the Falcons. So they're 2-0. The Detroit Lions at home, I got them beating the Detroit Lions at home. What do you got?
Same, dub. Easy win.
Okay, cool. I'm actually going to go back and change that. I think we lose to the Atlanta Falcons. I think we just – and it causes a little stir, causes a little panic, but we bounce back and we do beat Detroit. So I got them 2-1. You got them 2-0 or 3-0. I'm going to go with that we win. We beat the Packers. The Eagles beat the Packers. They're 3-1 after that. I got them losing to Atlanta and beating the Packers. What do you got?
I got the Eagles losing to the Packers. Short week, Thursday Night Football. It's at Lambeau Field. We haven't been able to beat the Packers at Lambeau in a long time. So,
yep.
L.
I agree that we haven't been able to beat them, and obviously it's just a fact. But I'm gonna say we lose to Atlanta, a team that we have been able to beat, and then we beat the Green Bay Packers, a team that we've been losing to. I just feel like there's going to be some weird things that happen this season, and that's one of them. They're 3-1, however. Both of our records the same. The losses coming at different times. They have the Jets at 1 p.m. at home Sunday, October 6th. What do you have for that?
W.
I got a W as well. Pretty easy pick for me. And then they're at Minnesota.
I got a W in that.
I agree. I think they're going to beat the Minnesota Vikings. I think they are now moved to 5-1. I think that the Vikings, I think they got them last year, and I think that that's kind of stuck in the mouths of the Eagles. It's bad taste. They want to get it out. I think they go on the road and beat the Vikings. They're 5-1. Now they have Dallas at Dallas, Sunday Night Football. What do you got?
I got an L because, we haven't beaten the Cowboys with Zeke, and that I think we split with them. We lose in Dallas, but we win at home. So L for that game.
Mm-hmm. I agree. I think that the Eagles lose that game. It's just more, Cowboys are going to be rolling as well. I think it's going to be tight in the division, and the Cowboys are going to get that big early win. There's going to be a game later on, though, that, has bigger implications that another team might win, but we'll get to that in a bit. At Buffalo Bills, I think the Eagles bounce back and they win that game.
Same, I got a W.
Cool. So we are at now 6-2. Yep, 6-2. We're at 6-2 halfway through the season. The Chicago Bears in Philly. Big game. Big rematch.
Yeah, the Bears are gonna be looking for revenge, but it's in Philly. I don't trust Mitch Trubisky in the crowd environment at the link. I got the Eagles going with the W heading into the bye.
Yes, sir. So do I. I got them at 7-2 heading into the bye week with losses to Atlanta and Dallas, and you have Green Bay and Dallas. That's a cool alignment that we just reached. I like that. I have coming out of the bye, I have the Eagles losing to the New England Patriots. They are now 7-3. What do you have?
Same. Like I said before, I just think the Patriots are going to be routing into form and getting that playoff mojo. So Eagles get the L. They'll be 7-3, like you said.
And then I think the Eagles come back the next week and they beat Russell Wilson. And this is the year that the Eagles, yes, they lose the New England Patriots and Tom Brady. Yes, they lose a game to Dak Prescott and the Dallas Cowboys. They do not sweep them. But they get a couple other of these demons off their back. They get the Seattle Seahawks with Russell Wilson, brand new contract. They get him off their back. Aaron Rodgers, get him off their back. You can't keep those demons haunting you all the time. And I think Carson Wentz, that's how he wins this fan base back over, as he beats Aaron Rodgers and Russell Wilson in the same season. I have the Eagles winning in Seattle, and not in Seattle, at home against Seattle. They are now at 8-3 on my record.
When the schedule first came out, I was looking at that game. Patriots, Seahawks, that's a tough stretch, but it's at home, and I agree with you. We got to get these monkeys off our back like we did in the 2017 season when we won the Super Bowl. So I'm going to give the Eagles a W.
Nice. I love it. At Miami, I got them winning that game. Big party down in Miami. Eagles fans, I sprung that idea on my dad. Hey, want to go to that game? He said it was a good idea. I'm probably going to keep planting that seed, letting that tree grow, and he might just bring me out for some Christmas present. Go to Miami, go to the Eagles. I was trying to plan to go before, but I don't think I'm going to be able to pull it off. But if my dad can get me down there, then I absolutely go to that. So I got the W. It's now 9-3 for me. I'm guessing you have the W as well.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. We're covered up there. So we got 9-3. They play the New York Giants next. I say they go 10-3. I say they win that game too.
Yep, I agree with you. I think we're gonna sweep the Giants. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then I say they go to Washington and they win again. And they're 11-3 at this point, and they play the Dallas Cowboys next. What do you have against at Washington?
W.
11-3, and then they play Dallas. The 11-3 Eagles play the Dallas Cowboys. I think they win. They win the division at 12 wins, and they lose the game to the Giants because they've clinched a bye week and they don't want to, risk any injury or anything like that. They lose that game. They go 12-4 on the season. What do you got for that?
Yeah, I was thinking about it. 12-4 is like the best thing. Like if we have the number 1 seed, home field locked up, then I don't see the point of playing the guys on week 17 against the Giants. Let them get their rest and let them get their bodies right for the divisional round. So
I really do think the Eagles will clinch after beating Dallas late December. I think they'll clinch a top 2 seed at 12-3, and then they will lose to the Giants and be 12-4 as the 2, maybe the 1 seed.
But let me just throw this out there. Let's say the Eagles last week of the season 12-3, and there's another team. Let's say who did it? Some team, Eagles will have a tiebreaker on, and if they win, then they get the number 1 seed. If they lose, and they get the number 2 seed. Though I think that's kind of like a tricky scenario.
Yeah, it's a good scenario. Hey, if that's the scenario, I'll tell you what, I'm not complaining because we're that good. We had a great game. I wouldn't care, honestly, if they went for the 2 seed, the 1 seed, whatever. It would be very, very picky of me to care. So
yeah,
I would say whatever they decide, just stay healthy, honestly. I'd rather have the 2 seed in health than try to get the 1 seed and get someone hurt. So that's my take on it. But they'd probably play their guys and go for the 1 seed. I mean, you never know. Maybe they'd think, hey, we'll send Nate Sudfeld out there, and we feel like we could win with him. We feel like we could beat the Giants and get that 13-3 record with him, and we keep Carson safe. So that would be awesome. But they'd sit a lot of guys and probably wouldn't win. So either way, I like it. I like the schedule prediction. I got to eat dinner. I know you're probably a little hungry after that sports talk, and I'm going to watch Jazz Houston and just relax. What do you got?
Yeah, probably just going to do some stuff, eat dinner, and watch those games.
Yep, absolutely. Awesome time chatting sports as usual. Me and Big Nish, you can follow us at Tom Stakes. Big Nish is taking a little hiatus off Twitter right now. Follow at Branded Sports. Thanks for tuning in. And, we'll see you guys later. Enjoy everything. Get ready for the draft because it's going to be crazy. Have a good one, guys. Peace.